This is Lee with 82 Gaming 12. I'll explain that in a little bit here. And we've got a look at Vive la Emperor series Trois Batailles in Allemagne. Game designed by Didier Rouy. And we're going to take a look at the Auerstaedt Battle, October the 14th, 1806, which made General Davout, I guess, famous. This is his victory over the main Prussian army during the Jena campaign in 1806. And we're going to take a look at that that's in this game. This is Legion Wargames. Looks like it came out in 2019. The game design is by Didier Rouy. And, oh, well, you also have the Pratzen editions. So you got the two companies, Pratzen Editions and Legion Wargames. I think Pratzen Editions handled a lot of the production of some of Didier's earlier Vive la Emperor series games. So, very fine quality counters and maps and charts and just a fine quality game production by this company and by Didier. Now, concerning 82 Gaming 12, that's was my actual channel. I guess 82 Gaming was already taken, and I don't know, for a long time I didn't really pay much attention to the 12 that was at the end of my channel name. So I've incorporated that into the name of my channel now. Instead of just 82 Gaming, it's 82 Gaming 12. So not much of a change there, but you know, when you go to, like, I guess Google my channel, or you look through YouTube for it, maybe this helps people find it a little easier. That's that. Okay, now let's take a look at our sponsors. We have, you may wonder about my sponsors. I get a lot of sponsors from outdoor companies, products. That's just because I have a passion for the outdoors, camping, hunting, fishing, and so forth. So that's where some of these come from. So first one is Magellan Outdoors. Do a lot of outdoor clothing and equipment, and so forth. And here we've got a hat. You can find more about Magellan Outdoors at Magellan.com. And, well, they are, you can barely see it there, but Mossy Oak. I wear a lot of Mossy Oak merchandise. Also have my truck seats are covered with Mossy Oak truck covers. So this is made in Bangladesh. I'm not going to get into political things concerning why I prefer to have things from other places other than, say, China. But, okay. Then we also have InstaFire Fire Starter. Safe, versatile, easy. This is a 3-pack. There's 3 packages in here. And this is safe for campfires, fireplaces, cooking, charcoal, emergencies. And there's no harmful chemicals. All natural, works in harsh conditions. Each pouch lights up to 4 fires. So this is a Mark Cuban company, as seen on Shark Tank. So you can find out more about InstaFire at instafire.com. So there's also a scan for the video, their Twitter, Facebook page, so forth. So you can check them out, instafire.com. So, okay. That's that. Okay, let's take a look at this video. Is basically just going to be, I think, introducing. By the time I get done talking about a lot of things, I'll probably stop the video and then start another one that actually starts the game. Got to have a little bit of discussion about the scenario and so forth. I really like the maps that that you get with the Legion Wargame games that are produced. Maps a little bit different than the Pratzen edition maps. I've got the other two that has to do with the Battle of Hanau, and then the let's see, it's the quad pack, 4-pack of the Spanish battles. Can't think of it off the top of my head. I've got it right over here. Let's see. Trois Batailles in España. Not Espanol, but España. So that's the 4 battles in Spain. I believe they had another Didier had another company, Azure, I think, was another company that produced some of his games, some of his early ones, and I had those at one time. I don't have them anymore. You have to understand that Didier Rouy he's French, so when you're looking at some of, say, the rules and so forth, you got to take an effect that there's a language barrier. You know, when you're translating things between, say, from French to English, there's going to be, you know, maybe a few issues here or there. And so sometimes sentences kind of appear to be strange, or they're not maybe grammatically correct or so forth. It's because of the translation from French to English. And so I have no problem with this rule book or even the scenarios. I wish that the setup was explained a little bit easier. Maybe if they provided say a smaller map and showed you where the pieces were set up. You know, there's not any numbers on the hexes, and I have no problem with that. You know, I like the fact that the map is not cluttered with numbers on the hexes. You know, it's clear. If you just provided, say, in the rules, you know, like GMT, on their Great Battles of History, they've got in their scenario booklets, they've got a map showing where all the pieces line up. And so you could look at that and say, oh, okay, this is where things go. So there's a little bit of you know, confusion on where to set up pieces, but there's also such a freedom, okay, to interpret, which is amazing, you know. And so, you know, I could go maybe find a historical booklet about Auerstaedt and the battle and look at the map and you know, start of the engagement and so forth. We're not actually starting at the very beginning, which was like, started at like 6 o'clock. We're starting at 8. The battle actually started, I believe, at around 6 o'clock when you had the first engagements with, excuse me, the advanced guard of Davout's 3rd Corps, which ran into the advanced guard of the Prussian army, which had wow, I drew a blank. Come on. How could I draw a blank with him? Very famous Prussian commander. He was just a like a divisional commander of cavalry, but he was in charge of the advance guard. Wow. He became the head of the Prussian army. Well, I can't believe I'm losing. Well, what I need to do is, let's see, I think some of this, well, I can just look here. What am I doing? Let's see here. Well, I don't see it here. Wow, I can't believe I'm just drawing a blank on him. Jeez. Wow. That's like a horrible forgetfulness on such an important character. Let's see here. There we go. Just find it. I'm gonna find him. I've got my David Chandler. Blucher! Oh, come on, Blucher! Yeah, Blucher was, I believe he was just like a cavalry commander, just like a divisional commander, so forth, during this battle. He's not even, he doesn't even get a counter. Okay. And I think I had said something to the designer. I think I sent a message on one of the, well, Board Game Geek, or probably wasn't Board Game Geek, that I had said something about Blucher not being included as one of the commanders. And he just, you know, he was not, you know, a corps commander, I call him commander. So, you know, he doesn't deserve to have a counter, even though he's in charge. He was in charge of, you know, the forces, the advance guard forces. He's just not, doesn't have that much control over some things at the moment. So that's that. This box also has the Siege of Dezain, which is you know, maybe at another time I'll actually do that scenario. You know, that's later in 1807, but that yeah. Talking about, you've got Chandler's book here. This is a map. You've got Hausenhausen, Poppel. Okay. Here's Hausenhausen. Here's Poppel's back over here. Okay. And, you know, here comes the Prussian army with Brunswick in overall command. King William is there with him. And so you got Davout, okay? He's only got about 27,000, and Brunswick has about 50,000, but they're kind of strung out. So, and so is Davout, though. So Davout is really outnumbered 2-1. And really by, you know, doesn't have much cavalry at his disposal. So I might need to keep that book out. Chandler's book, Campaigns of Napoleon, mine is taking a beating. But this is a great book. If you're a Napoleon, you know, fanatic, you have to have this book. and it's hard to find campaigns of Napoleon. Great maps. Chandler does a very amazing job of describing the campaigns and Napoleon's military exploits and so forth. Like I said, if you're a Napoleon fanatic, that's a book you need. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at the Battle of Auerstaedt. Okay, this is a battle that hasn't been really examined much in wargaming. You've got Clash of Arms, did it many years ago, and I had that La Bataille de Auerstaedt. I had that game. And back then, this was probably in the early 90s when I got it. I really had a difficult time, I guess, understanding the La Bataille series rules and so forth. And also just, I don't know, I just had a difficult time. I had many of their games, and I really had a difficult time. I find this system so much easier. I really like the Vive series. I know some people, you know, they're not as much of a fan of it. I am. I'm a big fan. Now, when we're talking about tactical Napoleonic games, I would have to say that the Gamers Napoleonic Brigade system is basically my favorite. You don't have there's not that many games, and they of course quit creating more battles, more games. But I really like that system, just the way the combat was done, and I like the simple counters that use just the NATO symbols, you know, for infantry, cavalry, artillery, and so forth. But this here system would probably be my second favorite. You've got SPI. They don't have an Auerstaedt game that I'm aware of, but SPI, the Wellington's Victory, and Wellington Ney versus Wellington, the Quatre Bras. I like that system. But we're taking a look at the Vive Libre series. I've done some videos over the Battle of Hanau. And so, you know, this battle here is I guess, one of my favorite Napoleonic battles. I really have high regards for Davout. And so this is one that I wanted to get. I wanted to get this game so that you know, I could fight the Battle of Auerstaedt and see if I could accomplish what Davout did, which was defeat an army twice his size, at least twice. It might have been more than that, you know. So let's take a look at the map here. As I said, I really like the map. You got Auerstaedt right here. Apolde is to the, I guess, southwest. And we've got Gernstadt. We've got Riehassen right here. You got Poppel, Tagwitz, Zuckwar, Spielberg up there, and then over here we have Hausen. And then Naumburg is to the southeast. This is where the French will be coming in. The reinforcements I've got them lined up here will be coming in. That's also the line of command for the French. Retreat path. This is the entry for the Prussian reinforcements, which I have lined up here, coming up this road. Now, the Prussians were on the move to trying to get to Naumburg, okay? But they also had a secondary plan of moving north through Spielberg and exiting here. And so that's part of the rules, because they can go that direction. So, talk about, let's see here. We do have some slope differentials. We've got, let's see here. I think we have only 2 slope slopes. So we've got, if we're looking, say over here, get my tweezers. We've got, this is level 1 and this is level 2. It doesn't look like we have a level 3 slope anywhere. So, no, it doesn't look so. So this is just a, the key of the terrain. Landgrafenberg. I guess, I don't know what that, if that's just like a single tree or what that, Landgrafenberg. Not for sure what that is. I know in the I'll take a look at the other side, but we got a road, we got a stream, marsh, difficult, and forest. I don't know if we got any marsh on this map. I think it's on the other map. So no marsh. We've got a little bit of difficult terrain. You see that in here. Of course, we've got the forest. But this Landgrafenberg, let's see. Okay, that only applies to the dark green level and only for the hex size facing east and the town of Jena. Okay, so that's going to be on the other map. We don't have Landgrafenberg. So, and we don't have a major river. We just have a stream. So, okay, talk about some of the special rules here. We got the fog. If I go over here, we take a look at the fog. Okay, now the game starts. We start at 8 o'clock. Okay, so thick fog, we're going to have, I guess we're going to have thick fog on the first turn. Yeah, thick fog on the first turn, which infantry and foot artillery have a maximum of 4 movement points. Cavalry and horse artillery have only 6. If you're traveling on a road or trail, that you have your full movement. Okay. Artillery firepower is divided by 2. Range is a maximum of 2 hexes. Cavalry charges only 2 hexes. Talking about skirmishers, have a firepower of 1 at range 2. So I'm going to be using the skirmishers, skirmish special rule. I'll talk about that. Then we go to thin fog from 8:30 to 10 o'clock. Artillery power, firepower is full. Maximum range is 4 hexes. Maximum cavalry charges is 4 hexes. There's no movement reduction. And skirmishers fire normal. So that's all we have there. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. All Prussian cavalry on the map start the game disorganized. So you see that up there at the top there by Zachwar. Those units, this is actually a infantry unit. These are the grenadiers. These are actually the cavalry units here. They start out disorganized. They had just engaged the French and have been repelled. And each one of those units starts the game with a loss. So, the Prussian player can start rallying them at the start of the second turn at 8:30. Okay. Okay, Prussian movement, the first column. What did I see that about the loss? See, you should have start the game with a loss. Okay, I'll come across it later. Okay. So the first column, pull back here, which is these units here. This is the first column. They can't move. Okay. They're not allowed to move. They can't move further east until one infantry unit from the second column, which is back here, crosses the vertical line passing by Tagwitz. So once they pass Tagwitz, then they're able to move at the beginning of the next turn. And then crossing into the Auerstaedt over here, talks about how the main army was moving from Weimar. Okay, they arrived late, and they were into the overcrowded village. They got lost in the dark. They were tired and hungry, so they just pretty much dropped wherever they were on the morning of the 14th. Nobody really looked for a ford, and so you had a traffic jam. Okay. To stimulate this, all reinforcements must follow the first 3 hexes of the trail. So they've got to go 1, 2, 3, cross the river, because they didn't actually say they looked for a ford. Okay, this is a stream here. It's not really a river. But they're going to cross over. They've got to move into Auerstaedt, and then they can spread out however they want to go. Brunswick. Brunswick is here. And he's in charge of the army. He's the overall commander. He received a mortal wound around 10 o'clock, which had terrible consequences for the battle, because then command went to the king, okay, who was not suited for that, okay. He was not prepared or suited to be overall commander of the forces. And so, but he's the one that had to take over. So without an army commander, the king had to take personal command, and it suffered from his lack of decision. And basically, he asked Kalkruth not to commit the powerful 2 reserve divisions. So, so what you have to do with Brunswick is, beginning at 9:30, which is the 4th turn, you roll a dice. If it comes up even, then Brunswick is mortally wounded and he's taken out of the game. And then command falls to the king. And when that happens, the role of army commander with a radius of 6 hexes, and his morale bonus goes to 0. So basically, you've got a limit to the units, what can move and attack and so forth because of his command. I'm using the, well, basically, there's no need to use the written commands, because Devu, you know, he's alone. He doesn't have an overall commander. He is the overall commander. And so we'll probably just use the, you know, 6 within 6 hexes command. So, you know, that's what we've got. So probably won't use anything else other than that. Kalkruth remains a corps commander, so, but the king only has a range of 6 hexes for his command instead of normally a 10. So, okay, so that takes care of those special rules for Auerstaedt. Then let's take a look at the advanced rules, optional rules, okay. Voltigeurs. Says almost every infantry unit can deploy Voltigeurs. These are skirmishers. So they're implemented by using numerical markers. well, we're not using the numerical markers. We're actually using these, where are they at? These here. These here on the back of each of them, they've got these, okay? That's what we're using. So, and we'll just do a limit of whatever we have, you know, however many we have, that's all we can throw out there. So, they're deployed like line infantry, therefore have 2 front hexes. And they can be deployed in any terrain where the movement is allowed. They are deployed in a hex where the mother unit can fire, except for light infantry. Only the upper unit of the stack can deploy them. They do not block line of sight. Doesn't cost anything to deploy them or reintegrate them. They fire on an adjacent front hex with a firepower of 1. It's not modified, can't be added to another Voltigear, and only 1 can be added to regular fire. Fire on a unit beyond a Voltigear is made with a negative on 1. So if you're firing through the Voltigear, you've got a net -1. Unless the value is already a 1. So, but they don't block line of sight. They can't stack with enemy units. They can never be adjacent to enemy cavalry units. Okay, friendly Voltigear stacked on a unit is simply ignored, just basically reintegrated. So when an enemy infantry or artillery unit enters a Voltigear hex, they trigger an opportunity fire if they enter from a front hex, and then you've got the reintegration of the Voltigears. So they're just basically thrown out there to give you a little bit of, skirmish fire when you got someone approaching. Okay, and with enemy cavalry though, they're just integrated without any fire. They're just turning and running. So, what other rules? Artillery losses. I don't know if I'm going to use that. Not going to do the random. Now with the artillery retreats, I think normally, of course, limbered artillery retreats. But if it's unlimbered, it doesn't retreat. And that way it can be taken over. So I am going to use that. I'm also going to use the special rules with cavalry, which is 16.4. Let me show you some of this stuff instead of just reading it to you. Okay, so we've got the cavalry there. I'm going to use these rules, the light cavalry. Okay, these are units that have movement of 10 or more. Okay. They don't have to pass a morale check to retreat before combat. They can change directions 3 times instead of twice. They receive a +1 when meleeing against disorganized units. Line cavalry, that's a movement allowance of 9. They've got to make a morale check when they retreat. They get a +1 in melee against light cavalry. Heavy cavalry, 8 or less. They can change direction only once per cavalry movement. When heavy cavalry charges, its die roll is modified by +1, except when charging against other heavy cavalry. And no cavalry can charge during 2 successive turns. So, and then with the opportunity charge, the light cavalry can perform an opportunity charge 2 hexes away. And cavalry retreat when the charge is over. Whatever the result, light or heavy, can become disorganized and retreat toward their line of communication with whatever amount of movement points they have left. 2 hexes or number of movement points. So I'm not going to do the routing. I'm just going to do, if you get attacked again as you're disorganized, you have another disorganized result, you're you're dead. Let's see, fatigue. I am going to use fatigue. I've got the chart up here, and with that, let's see. I got to tighten up my camera thing here. So I've got it color coded, and what I do is I've got these blocks here that I use, and I just put them on the counters or the units that need to be represented. Okay, so fatigue will be taken into effect during the game. Drop back here. And so we got fatigue here. So what we have is take a look here. At the end of each player's turn, a corpse was moved more than half their movement allowance gets a fatigue point. Artilleries and cavalry attached to an infantry corps, as well as artillery from cavalry corps excluded. A unit moving on a road less than half its movement allowance gets a +1 movement bonus only. Let's see. A corps which attacks in melee gets a fatigue point. Being the target of fire in melee, including opportunity fire, does not count. Firing does not count. A corpse which no unit moves at all and no unit is engaged in melee recovers a fatigue. And if you don't have anybody fire on you either, then you get 2 points recovered. When 5 fatigue points are accumulated, the marker 5 under the leader is replaced. I just replace it with a red block. Okay. And so what that does is it affects morale. So, and there that is. Okay, and I've got the morale on my fatigue point chart up there. It's going to decrease the morale. So, oops. Okay. Command and control. Really, with this scenario, we're just going to stick with each unit has to be within 6 X's from its commander. Okay, unit must draw a 6X path, not crossing through any enemy unit. And then, leaders have to be within 10 X's. But that's going to be reduced to 6 X's if King William takes over. So, out-of-command units cannot voluntarily exit their hex except for the attempt to come back within command radius. Out-of-command units can change facing, adopt a new formation. They can fire, they can melee, they can advance after combat. You can charge into adjacent hexes if you're cavalry, countercharge, withdraw. Okay, you can do all of those things. Okay, if you're out of command, you can't voluntarily exit your hex unless you're going back toward your commander's radius. So, which means you can't advance. You're not moving forward to attack. Okay. If somebody's in your front hexes, then yeah, you can shoot, you can melee, so forth. So those are basically those are going to be the rules and optional rules that we're going to be using. I don't use these here for marking casualties. I use the I just mark off on the boxes, okay, with the units. The blue over here is the French, okay. We're only really looking at the 3rd Corps, which is the Vive, okay. And this is the Auerstaedt, actually. So this is all this here is the Vive, and you got Bernadotte down here, which he didn't show up. He didn't come. He didn't move to the sound of the guns. Okay, he was I guess in dispute with Vive at the time. Didn't want to go and support him. He didn't like Vive. So, and then we have the Prussian main army here, which is all these units here, all the way down to right here. This is cut off right here. These other guys are with someone else. Well, no, these are their artillery units here. Yeah, we won't have, I don't believe there's a few here that we don't have, like number 41. I think there's a couple of those, like 38, so forth. Okay, so Ortenberg was in reserve. He's not going to be part of this. He's not brought in. So, and we're not doing the opening moves. We're just going to start with turn 8 o'clock. Okay, which has to do with the thick fog. So we've got the thick fog rules there. So there that is. We'll be starting, I guess, this one here is already 40 minutes long. So I'm going to stop this here pretty quick, and I'll start a new video that will actually start the game. And we'll get started with that. I believe well, just to give you, I guess, a little background on some things here. We've got the approximate scale, 1 counter, 1 infantry or cavalry regiment, or 2 artillery batteries. 1 hex is about 250 meters. 1 game turn is 30 minutes. 1 step loss is about 300 men, or 1 artillery battery, which is 6 guns. And then we have the counter information. Okay, unit type at the top. Over here on the side, we've got the corps or division. And then we have the fire value at the top. White number in a red box. Melee value is a red number. Number of steps is a white number in a black box. The morale is a green number. Movement is on the right or at the bottom when the counter's flipped over. And then range, if they have a range there, this would be a like a unit that has can be turned into skirmishers. Is that unit? Okay, so also artillery units will have a range there. So if I have a okay, and then we have the leaders, and this is actually Devu. Combat bonus of 2, morale bonus of 4, movement of 10. We don't need to know about his initiative or his obedience. He's acting alone here, so there that is. Okay, I think that about wraps it up. We'll be ready to get started on the next video. So we'll get started with that one here before too long. And so if you want to know more about the Vive l'Opera series, I suggest that you tune in and watch these videos. If you enjoy playing the Vive l'Opera series, again, tune in and watch. You know, I may make a few mistakes. I haven't played this series in a little bit. I read through the rules and everything. I got a pretty good grasp. But it's been since I had the Hanau videos that I did, which that's been a while. So I've been wanting to get this on the table. Like I said, I really enjoy this series. I think it's very well done. I don't find any issues with the rules, the setup, and so forth. I know when I was playing the Trois Batailles de Espagne, I had maybe a small issue with trying to figure out where I needed to set units up. That's the only issue that I have with this series is that, you know, maybe, like I said, a map, like you find in some other game companies. So you have a map, and it shows you where the counters would be. But you know, this allows for you know, some freedom of you know, just I guess your own understanding about what where the units should be. Like I said, you can always look up and find a map, a historical map, or a description about where the forces were at, and kind of put them on there and get after it. So, let's see, I didn't really mention this, but you know, you do have on the counters, you got two sides. This is in column, and then this is in line. Okay, if this was an artillery unit, this would be unlimbered, and then this would be limbered. With cavalry, this is in line for combat, and this would be in column for movement. Cavalry units, they're only in line when they're charging. So, and you have different, like for example, with this unit here, let's see about, there it is. This is a infantry unit in column. Firepower is only a 1. We flip it over, the firepower is a 3, okay, in line. So, of course, you got more guns that can fire when you're in line than in column, okay. Your movement is only a 3 in line, while your movement in column is a 5. So, some differences there, okay. When you do your melee, you've got the melee value, which is here is a 2. That's going to be multiplied by the number of steps. So that's going to be a melee strength of 10 here, if it has all its steps. In line, the melee strength is still going to be 10 on this counter. It's not always the case. I don't believe. So, some units have a stronger melee strength when they're in column, if I recall. Maybe not, but I think so. So there we go. I guess I need to shut up and let this video stop, and then we can get started with the actual gameplay. So, if you're enjoying the videos, hit the like button, and also if you want to catch any of the videos that I do, just subscribe, and when I get them loaded up, they'll pop up into your box or wherever you have them go. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video, which will start the 8 a.m. turn.